So now that the dust has settled, or the Fallout dust, you know, like the mod, forget it. On the frankly brilliant Fallout TV show, it's time to look to the future. Welcome to the Wishlist Sermon, where I will discuss, dissect, and disembowel. I'm really trying here with the Camelworks style intro, but it's not working. Basically, I am going to give my thoughts about what I want out of the sophomore effort of the Fallout TV show. Season 1 didn't drop the ball, although they did drop the bombs, which of course was controversial to Shady Sands fans and New Vegas elitists. I mean fans. I like New Vegas, guys. It's a joke. No need fire a nuke from the fat man at the heart chamber the next time you pass by Dagoth, the building. But back on point. Season 1 was 9 sugar bombs out of 10, so I don't see why Season 2 will disappoint. Oh, what Westworld? Forget about it. Fallout is different. Westworld wasn't that bad after Season 1 anyway. I mean, remember the Ghost of Tsushima arc from Season 2. Still, I feel compelled to gently nudge Todd, the false god, Howard, Jonathan Nolan, and whatever Fallout lore expert YouTubers end up writing Season 2 in the right direction. And by gently nudge, I mean I have a list of demands that need to be met before the sun goes down. I'm like the villain of a Western now. Anyway, I'll start off by getting an obvious one out of the way, but more mutants. A Deathclaw, of course, needs to show up and randomly kill off a major character. It just needs to happen. Maybe even during a conversation in a janky fashion to feel more immersive. Like maybe Goosey and friends take a wrong turn because they Geiger GPS his total swit and they wind up at Deathclaw Junction or whatever. During a heated discussion about what flavor of sweet roll icing is best, one of them gets bloody messed and ragdolled to death by a Deathclaw. Maybe we could have an army of Deathclaws show up. They could descend on New Vegas like cliff racers on literally anyone minding their own business. Just no talking Deathclaws, please. That's a controversial chapter in Fallout that doesn't need to be brought up. Imagine if a Deathclaw menacingly walks up to a character only to say, "I'm like totally behind you and you don't even notice." Please no. And don't turn Deathclaws into misunderstood creatures who need saving. How to train your Deathclaw, this ain't. Cazadors should show up. Nightmare-inducing presence be damned. Those Wasp Hawk Blue Bottle Noir things would add a horror element to the show. And I'm done talking about Cazadors because it's destroying my blood pressure already, and I want to actually sleep tonight. Fire ants, rad scorpions, rad stags, and mutated cacti are the other options they should go with. Maybe introduce mutant aloe vera, too. Super mutants obviously need to show up. The Enclave has a few, it seems, as indicated by a blink and you'll miss it cameo in the first season. They need to have a decent presence in Season 2, not just some cameo of a Nightkin using their stealth boy to steal a Nuka-Cola Quantum from Norm's fridge. I don't know how that would make sense honestly anyway. I've heard Nightkin prefer Vim, even if it's an East Coast thing. Look, now I'm just breaking lore. Before you know it, I'll be claiming Jet was pre-war and is a product of the Zetans. Oh, please don't tell me they'll do that. It's time to move on from mutants and get to point number 2. We need more pre-war flashbacks. Fallout 4, for all its Prestonian flaws, had the guts to show us pre-war America for like a solid 5 minutes. It literally showed us pre-war America for less time than it takes to eat a bowl of Blamco mac and cheese. The show, however, gave us plenty of pre-war flashbacks and even implied that Vault-Tec dropped the bombs. They didn't necessarily do that, though. It's just shown that they plan to. There is a difference. Calm down, New Vegas fans. Again, that's a joke. Calm down. See, I plan to take over Morrowind, justifiably be the Dubs, with my army of dreamers, ash slaves, and a couple of out-of-work seekers I hired from Apocrypha. But that doesn't mean I actually did it. I planned it here in the heart chamber, and then the Nerevarine showed up, and actually had the nerve to fulfill the prophecy while downing sweet rolls and Sujama in a cheap effort to take down a poor old god who was just trying to make the world a better place. I am the Mr. Roger of Morrowind. Okay, that's a stretch. Anyway, we need more pre-war stuff. Maybe some flashbacks of Cooper Howard's time in Anchorage, being a patriotic fetcher in winterized power armor and spouting more anti-communist one-liners than a Liberty Prime in a China shop. I want to know Bud Askin's breakfast routine. Sugar bombs or Kellogg's cybernetic cornflakes? What was Hank's favorite TV show? He strikes me as the kind of guy who watches Grognak the Barbarian every Saturday morning, while thinking up ways to blow up towns for murky reasons. The possibilities are endless. Moving on to my third demand. More Easter eggs and references. Get the eye rolling out of your system now. You may laugh, but Easter eggs are the backbone of Star Wars, Marvel, and literally any franchise that has been around for more than a month. We are going to New Vegas next season, and that means there are expectations to be met when it comes to Easter eggs and references to the games. Don't overdo it, but also don't underdo it. There is a perfect balance, Todd, that you must pinpoint scientifically and execute flawlessly. Basically, you need a degree in theoretical physics, and then you should be welcomed aboard. See what I did there? Ha 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 ha. Like maybe a subtle nod to a certain group of ghouls who were aiming for the stars, or references to the vaults in the area. Like maybe the last survivor of Vault 11 is out there, and now he's a sunset sarsaparilla-addicted Yao Guai pelt salesman in Prim. I mean, that makes little sense and is oddly specific, but you know what I mean. Maybe strange plant creatures can be seen in the corner of a frame 22 minutes into episode 4. Stuff like that to get the New Vegas fans on board again after the quote-unquote slight against them in Season 1. Again though, no talking Deathclaws, or talking mutants in general. I don't need a fetching cazador with a southern drawl asking for directions to the nearest isolated town so they can wreak havoc. There is a fine line between wackiness and insanity, and the showrunners shouldn't cross it. Or maybe they should, I don't know. I'm a god, not a writer. Just keep it subtle, but also frequent enough to prove that they actually put 1,000 hours into New Vegas and can quote everything Ulysses says in Lonesome Road on a whim. That's all I ask of the writing team. Also, keep it vague as to who won the second Battle of Hoover Dam if you can. It's lost to time, perhaps. Or maybe No Bark Noonan is the only person left alive from its aftermath, and he keeps rambling on about how the Chupacabras took the Strip, not the NCR, or Robert the False God CEO House, or the Affirmative Gentleman Securitron. If all else fails, just remember the Bear and Bull, Todd, the False God Howard. Say that 1,000 times in the show, and it should be enough to add some quality to the show. It worked for Ulysses. On to the fourth demand, which is quite simply that we need a higher episode count for Season 2. This is frankly a pointless request, because literally every show with a budget worth 2 or more shoestrings gets the magic 8-ball number of episodes at a maximum. I'd like it to be 12 episodes, or at least 10, but we'll get like 6 or 7, knowing my godly bad luck. With all the flashback potential and wacky side arc moments we could get, it seems a shame that we'll be limited to less than double digits. At least it'll be infinitely more hours than most Fallout fans put into Fallout 76. Nukes fired, I guess. Directly at Bethesda HQ. Is this how it feels to be an unhinged Fallout fan? Okay, moving on to my fifth and I guess final request. Confirm that Jet wasn't pre-war. Norm will hold a meeting in Vault 33, break the fourth wall, and direct Bethesda directly, explaining what a mess they made, and that Myron invented it in Fallout 2. It could even be the epic closing scene of Season 2. Who needs the third Battle of Hoover Dam, or the 75th Battle for New Vegas, when you have Rico Suave telling the audience about how Bethesda fetched up the property they were supposed to respect, and... Okay, I'm going to calm down. I'll call time on this sermon and decompress with some Nuka-Cola in the heart chamber. When things look glum, remember Obsidian aren't dumb. We will get a spin-off from them. Fallout New Orleans will happen. Over the course of this sermon, it seems I have given in to my deeply buried New Vegas elitist tendencies and trauma. I apologize. Anyway, on that existential note, we are going to wrap up. That was 5 tiny wishes that need to be in Fallout Season 2 or else. May Adam follow your wisdom, and I'll nerd out with I'm losing it. I think radiation has been leaking into the heart chamber, guys. I think it's from that nylon bag that came with Fallout 76. One of the Ash slaves bought it. There's something wrong with it, guys. It speaks to me at night, in eldritch tongues. What madness is going on at Bethesda? Their offices are the real Dunwich building. Anyway, I better end it here. Time to play a hacked and modded version of Fallout 76, which makes it mildly tolerable. Nukes fired again.